Hi guys, ZEECRAZYGee here, back with another CTR Nitro Fueled video. And before we get into the main topic of this video, I just want to say a couple of things. Firstly, I am sorry for the lack of videos this month. October has been quite a rough time for me, so I had to put videos on the back burner, so sorry about that. But secondly, on a more positive note, thank you all so much for your support on the last video regarding the Neon Circus data mine. And now to be this close to 1,000 subs is absolutely nuts, so thank you so much guys. But anyway, on to the main point of this video. Now CTR Nitro Fueled, in my mind at least, is one of my favourite games of all time. I have been loving it. But as I addressed in another video not too long ago, it's not perfect. We are nearing 4 months into this game's life cycle, and yet there are still big problems that persist. But as we have seen recently, Beenox have been focused on listening to the community and implementing fixes. An example of this being the engine swap mechanic, making character selections so much more freeing and customizable. And so I hope that if we as a community can keep shedding light and raise our voices on these remaining issues, then hopefully we can see some change. These issues I have brought up and gone over in a previous video I made, though very briefly and not with much discussion on how it could be resolved. Which is what I intend to do here, so let's go through these problems one by one. Number 1. The absolute state of online. The online mode is without doubt the biggest and most important new part of Nitro Fueled, and it's what gives the game its replay value post-launch. But as we all know, online can sometimes be as stable as a bomb held together with Prix stick. The lack of any dedicated servers means that if the host of a lobby has a poor connection, then it tends to be a bit of a shit show, with invisible or delayed power-ups and jittering opponents everywhere. Speaking of hosts, Jesus Christ, we need host migration. Hands up if you've been in a lobby with about 3 seconds left on the counter and then some dickhead decides to leave. Yeah, I thought so. And this has been happening more and more recently, and what I don't get is why are people leaving with only a few seconds left to go? Are they just trying to piss people off? The problem is that often it seems I'm spending the majority of online sessions actually in the lobbies as opposed to racing. Just either trying to find a match or waiting for a game to start. Only for some guy to decide at the very last second that he doesn't actually like that track and to disband the entire lobby. Now, dedicated servers are something that is a bit more out of Beenox's control and a bit more to do with whether Activision will allow the budget for something like that. But host migration is a much more feasible feature that could actually even help to reduce online lag. If there was perhaps some form of system that selected one player as a host who would provide the most stable connection, at the very least to make online races a bit more bearable. Number 2. The fact that online, at least to me, has just become very stale. As much as I love racing against other players online, there's only so much I can just play single races and battle mode before it becomes old. I feel this is where the game could really benefit and engage more players again. There's a good amount of different modes they could implement for online that would be realistically feasible. First off, cup tournaments. This would be fantastic. Just simply 4 back-to-back races where players would have to consistently do well in order to succeed, and maybe even offer a higher 1 per coin reward to incentivize players. Perhaps a team race mode like Mario Kart where the whole lobby is split into 2 teams, with your own team's power-ups not hurting you and the points earned from your finishing position are tallied together, and the team with the most points at the end wins. Maybe rework some single player modes into online like CTR challenges where each player has to collect the 3 letters to qualify their finishing position. And even a game mode that I know a lot of people have been asking for, no power-ups. It would just be down to your driving skill, and it would be very interesting to see how drastically the dynamic of races would change without them. I just think more modes would really spice up and bring a lot more life and variety to the online mode and could go a long way into re-engaging the player base again. Number 3, and our final big issue still plaguing CTR, is the Grand Prix fatigue. I recently watched Canadian Guy A's video on this, and I would have to agree with him on this. It seems evident that people are starting to feel burnt out on the game, and I would be lying if I said I wasn't feeling it as well. And I think it's mainly due to the way the Grand Prix are structured and released. Each Grand Prix has lasted around a month, with one per month since the start of July, with very little time in between them, maybe about 4 days at the most. And because these Grand Prix contain time-limited items, it makes people feel an urgency to keep playing in order to earn all the rewards, playing the game more and more often, hence why they're becoming fatigued with it. Now don't get me wrong, I love all the new content that comes with these Grand Prix, but I'll admit that after 4 of these now, it is becoming exhausting. Now the way to go about resolving this issue is a little bit more uncertain. Canadian Guy A did have the idea of having a throwback section to the pit stop where items exclusively from previous Grand Prix would appear, therefore alleviating the stress of players who may have missed Grand Prix items. And I also think just having a bit more of a break between these Grand Prix would allow the player base to relax a bit more before entering the next one. And so those are the big things I still think CTR Nitro Fueled and Beenox needs to address. I just want to state that I don't want to be negative here, but highlight where the game needs to improve. And believe me, I do want it to. I do really want to see this game to be as good as it can. And I certainly feel that after the implementation of features like the engine swap, that Beenox are focused on listening to players and adding or fixing features to improve the game. So what do you think of the points I brought up in this video? Are there any other issues or new ideas you'd like to see get more focus? If so, then please do discuss in the comments down below. And with that, thank you all so much for watching, everyone. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, guys.